kitchen. My name is Beverly, and on today's episode of Cooking with Love, I'm going to be showing you a very classic Italian dish. It's called steak pizzaiola. Now, we've had this many times over the years. I'm going to be showing you my version of it. And pizzaiola can also be used with any other type of meat that you like. You can use pork, you can use chicken, but today we're doing steak. So let's get started. The ingredients we need to make our steak pizzaiola are a nice piece of beef. Now this is a top round, but you can use a cheaper cut of beef. You can use a bottom round, a chuck, anything, because it's going to be cooking for a long time. You want some potatoes. I like to use the russet potatoes because they last longer when you're cooking them. They won't disintegrate. Some parmesan grated cheese, some oregano, some minced garlic, a nice onion, and some whole peeled plum tomatoes. Let's get going. To start our pizzaiola, we're going to start with an onion. I'm going to peel it. Cut off the ends. Now I want to slice this. It does not have to be too fine. I want to show a little bit of texture with the onions. Okay, the onion is all set. Now I'm going to peel and slice my potatoes. And you don't want the pieces to be too thin because it's going to be cooking a long time with the meat. So I think about this is good. We're going to put these in a strainer. We're going to wash these when we're through. We're ready to assemble our pizzaiola. Like what I do now is take the meat, and I want to season it on both sides first. A little bit of salt and pepper. And I'm going to put a little bit of garlic. I'm going to use my hands to spread it around. And I did forget to mention, but I want to coat this with some olive oil. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to season the other side. Same thing. Salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic, and some olive oil. Now I'm going to put the rest of the ingredients together. So all the onions and the potatoes on the top of it and around it. Okay, now what you want to do now is season these again with the oil, salt, pepper, and garlic. And I did forget to mention, I'm going to be using a casserole today and baking this in the oven. But you could also bake this on top of the stove in a big pot, or else you can put it in the crock pot as well. So next comes the tomatoes. I like to break them apart a little bit as I'm putting them in. And I do like a lot of tomatoes in my pizzaiola. So that goes firmly over the whole top. I leave some whole and some crushed. Make sure everything's covered. Again, I need to clean my hands for a second. And now to finish this up, again, season each layer, and tomatoes do need salt. So make sure you salt it enough, pepper. Let's put the rest of the garlic in. We want to drizzle the olive oil all over this. Now, lots of Parmesan. Generously all over the whole top. That looks good. And then finally, oregano, sprinkle it all over. Cover it with aluminum foil. This needs to cook for a minimum of, I'm going to say, 4 hours. Could be longer, could be a little bit less, but into the oven it goes. It's time for the taste test now. My Pizzaiola cooked 3.5 hours at 375, and as you can tell, it just breaks apart with the fork. So I'm going to try some of this now. Got a little bit of onion, a little bit of beef. Really, really good. Very flavorful. I like to serve it with some Italian bread. I have a little piece of potato. Absolutely delicious. Why don't you give this recipe a try? Till we see you next time. Bye-bye.